You ever see a man so desperate for justice he becomes the thing he spent his whole life fearing? Yeah, that happened. That man was me. I never thought I'd see the day I stood over a cop, blood on my hands, my son's name echoing in my mind. Hell, 6 months ago, I was a regular dad, an engineer, blueprints in hand, worrying about deadlines, not revenge. But the system that protected the men who nearly killed my son forced my hand. And let me tell you, it wasn't just the badge that shielded them. It was an entire city's silence. That Tuesday, my life split clean down the middle. I was working late in my Oakland office, reviewing specs for a community center, when the call came. Oakland General Hospital. I still hear Nurse Patterson's voice, too calm, too clipped, telling me my boy Jamal had been admitted, critical. 15 minutes felt like an eternity. I remember thinking, he's just 17, left the house with that crooked little smile, said he'd be home for dinner. But when I saw him in that trauma room, tubes everywhere, his face so battered I barely recognized him, one eye swollen shut, jaw twisted. And right there, two cops, hovering, stone-faced. The doctor said trauma, broken bones, collapsed lung, brain injury. I'm reeling. Then Officer Cooper steps forward, reciting like a damn manual. My son was arrested for marijuana, resisted, so they subdued him. Subdued. You ever want to throw a punch at someone just for how they say a word? Body cam footage. Oh, malfunction. Reports? Filed, of course. My engineering mind wanted hard proof, but all I got was excuses. My son weighs a $160, never fought a day in his life. And you put him in a coma for a joint? Wilson, the rookie, avoided my eyes. Cooper just stared, all authority, no heart. Later, I heard two nurses whisper about a white kid, same age, twice as much weed that day, walked out with a warning. That's when it hit me, the talk every black father has with his son, the one about survival, about yes sir, no sir, about swallowing pride so you make it home alive. Jamal knew all that. Didn't matter. The more I pushed for answers, the more doors slammed. Security got called when I pressed too hard. Don't ask questions. That's the message. That first night in the hospital cafeteria, food untouched, I realized I was alone. And this wasn't just about Jamal. It was about every family who'd sat where I sat, begging for justice in a world built to deny it. Weeks blurred. ICU lights became my sunrise, Jamal's machines my lullaby. The hospital offered no hope, the police no answers. Sophia Martinez took my case. She fought cops for a living, her walls plastered with articles about battles most folks lost. She was honest. This system protects itself, Mr. Washington, not victims. And she was right. Bystander videos surfaced. Jamal, hands up, no resistance. Cooper slamming him into a wall. Internal Affairs did nothing. Paid leave for the 4 officers. Vacation. The Tribune painted Jamal as a thug, never mentioned his scholarship to Howard.it the precinct. Captain Reynolds, all but threatened me. The DA? Proving intent is nearly impossible. Juries don't convict cops. But Cooper had 2 buried complaints, 2 black men, settlements, no discipline. It wasn't a broken system. It was working exactly as designed. One night in the hospital garage, I broke. Couldn't breathe, couldn't stop shaking. Vernon Lewis found me there, retired Army, lost his brother to police bullets. He introduced me to a support group, people who'd buried children, gotten settlements, but never justice. The best you can hope for is a payout, one mother told me. No one wears a jumpsuit but our kids. That hit me hard. It changed me. I started digging. On Cooper, Mills, Sanchez, Wilson. Their secrets, their schedules, their weaknesses. The line between victim and avenger blurred. Maybe you think I was justified. Maybe you don't. But I had nothing left to lose. And when the department cleared Cooper, promoted him, that was the last straw. I bought a gun from a guy who didn't ask questions. I stopped being the man who trusted the law and became the man the law would soon fear. My first move was Mills. Staked out his girlfriend's apartment, caught him alone, cornered him. Taser, zip ties, showed him the full footage, thanks to activists, not the department. He cracked, spat racist bile, said my kid mouthed off, said they'd get away with it like always. I shot out his knees, He'd never run from the truth again. Left evidence of his side hustles, enough to bury him. Didn't kill him. That would have been too easy. After that, the department doubled patrols, looking for gangsters, never dreaming it was just a grieving father. Wilson, the rookie, started jumping at shadows. He hadn't thrown a punch, but he hadn't stopped them either. Guilt ate him up. Meanwhile, Sophia saw I'd changed. Calmer, colder. She pleaded with me to stop. I lied. Sanchez was next, his gambling, his hidden violence. The FBI got involved after Mills. The department panicked, but I kept moving. I lured Sanchez to a warehouse. He came, scared, thinking I'd kill him. But he cracked, admitted regret. He had a family. He promised to testify if I let him go. The sirens wailed, cops closing in. I escaped, but Sanchez kept his word, wore a wire, caught Cooper ranting about thugs and teaching lessons. Even Wilson came forward, afraid I'd be next. Suddenly the world saw what had been hidden all along, but Cooper snapped, ran for the hills, heavily armed, thinking he could outlast me. I tracked him to a cabin, watched him unravel. When the final showdown came, it was brutal, gunfire, fists, blood. He called my son garbage, reached for a knife. I stunned him, forced his confession on tape, every dirty secret, every cover-up. As he lunged for a hidden gun, I shot him in the gut, then cuffed him up, left the recording for the world. Called 911. He'd live, and every day would remember the pain he caused. The evidence exploded. Officers suspended, the chief resigned, public outrage boiled. And as the system shook, my son woke up, eyes open for the first time in months. That moment, sitting by his bed, meant more than any revenge. Jamal remembered everything, being stopped, being hit, being powerless. But he survived. Lieutenant Wells, the one good cop in the whole rotten mess, made a deal. Testify, help fix the system, walk free. It wasn't easy. I walked into court, protesters cheering, my lawyer at my side, my community behind me. I told the truth, not as a vigilante, but as a father. The officers were convicted. Cooper and Mills got 15 years. I was made a civilian commissioner, tasked with changing the department from inside. That we built something new. Real oversight, mandatory body cams, bias training that actually meant something. Jamal started to heal. Joined me as we formed a foundation to help other families. The pain never fully went away, but purpose grew in its place. At the academy, I told new recruits, that badge isn't power, it's responsibility. Every person you meet is someone's child. Remember my son before you ever raise your hand. Some people called me a hero, others a criminal. Doesn't matter. What matters is we forced a reckoning. I'll never regret protecting my son, not for a second. If you've ever seen a system fail, ever felt rage at injustice, you know what I mean. So here's my question for you. When the law protects the guilty and punishes the innocent, where would you draw the line? Would you become the thing you fear if it meant justice for your own? If this story moved you, hit like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts below. Do you believe true justice can exist in a flawed system, or does it take someone willing to break the rules to fix them? Let's talk about it.